All right, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm sitting here just doing some back end work here. It is Carolina Panther time. Y'all already know who I am, the big cat here, man. Welcome to 1995, The Roar. Make yourself at home. Here to talk about football for an hour of power here, and I got to tell you, we got instant reaction to the Carolina Panthers schedule release here, and you know what? It might be doable. It might be doable, or do we fall predatory to the same mind thinking we do every year that we can do this and then we don't? Stay tuned. I'll give you my rapid reaction. Give me 1 second. All right, man. Welcome back here. Let me get everything set up here. All right, man. Let's talk about it, man. What we know. Shout out to the Carolina Panthers who dropped a whole 30 minutes earlier when it came to their schedule release here. As you guys very well know, um, the league is dropping this whole entire schedule release at 8 p.m. I think it's just now kicked off, but the Panthers beat them to the punch, so kudos to them. Let's just kind of talk about what we've seen out of them with the schedule release, right? Every year, I kind of like this time of the year. We got a little absence, a little void when it comes to football, and where everybody's waiting around to see when and where their team is going to play, and you know what I mean? So the creativity from the Carolina Panthers media staff, I genuinely appreciate that when it comes to these scheduled releases, right? Real fun, creative. But this year, I got to say, I wasn't necessarily impressed with the media release of the schedule. You know what I mean? A couple years back, they had different things, computer, video games, whatever. Um, Things like that to kind of show you the fun of it. But I mean, I don't know if it really matters or whatever. But I'll tell you this. What they did was they took every team they played, right? And they took their mascot and they kind of put it on. I don't know if they were at a firing range or whatever they were, and they kind of blew it up. So week one, they had the Bears, blew it up. Week two, you know what I mean, the Falcons, and just real fucking cheesy, you know what I mean? I'm like, come on, Carolina, you know. We done better in the past with reveals, right? We done better in the past with reveals, so I don't think it really matters to anybody, but I appreciate the nuances of things. I like the little things of that, all right? Let's take a peek. I really want to take my time and kind of give you my schedule prediction here. Let me see if I got a pen or something here. Let me make sure I got a pen or a pencil or something. Or maybe you guys can help me out. Keep track right there, all right? Week one, we take on the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears return to the playoffs for the first time in a while. last year. Caleb Williams is coming into town. And I got to tell you, man, it's a matchup of former overall #1 draft picks. We have a lot of ties to the Chicago Bears because of the Bryce Young trade and what we gave up to get him. And so forever, these two gentlemen will be linked and the progress will forever be linked together, right? So to see that week 1, this is a very doable matchup, right? I know the Panthers finished 8-9 last year and they backdoored themselves into the playoff. And I do mean backdoored themselves into the playoff. Well, excuse me, got helped into the playoff. But Chicago Bears, man, you're giving up, you're coming into the season with DeAndre Swift, 1,000-yard rusher, okay? And their backup's pretty good here. Kyle Mungnai, he rushed for over 700-something yards here. Off top, man, I just don't want to sit here and gaslight anybody. I like to speak from the heart. I like to speak from logic and understanding. I'm not really sold on this Panthers run defense just yet. It has improved. I will give it that much. It has improved. The Panthers have brought in, Lee? Hold on, pull it up here. Give me a second here. They had drafted Lee Hunter, who I think definitely will provide, some stability on that defensive line, over 6'5", 325 pounds. For the love of me, I've been screaming, get Derek Brown some help. This might be the guy that he might help him on that D-line. But outside of that, you got Bobby Brown, You still got Trayshawn Wharton if he stays healthy on that D-line. So I don't know. So week 1, you're looking at a team who probably, man, don't necessarily have to come in here and throw the ball. You know what I mean? You got a 1,000-yard rusher, 700-yard rusher behind DeAndre Swift. So week 1 could be a game of attrition where, it's hot, it's muggy. You know what I mean? You're not really trying to come out here and air it out against, probably the 2 best cornerbacks in the game. Shout out to J.C. Horn and shout out to Mike Jackson. I can't believe I said Mike Jackson, but yeah, I got to give him his credit. I will not tolerate Mike Jackson's slander. Okay, so yeah, I think the game will be based off of running the ball, and I'm just not sold on the Carolina Panthers stopping the run. As far as Caleb Williams, his development, coming into last year, I think he made some stride. He took that team into the playoffs. You definitely seen the ups and downs with Caleb. You've seen the good and the bad, but overall, I think Caleb's just going to be just fine, all right? So with that being said here, they did lose DJ Moore, and they had Roma Doomsday as well as Luther Burden, Khalif Raymond. Their receiver core is mediocre. A lot of people are expecting a lot out of Luther Burden, and if you follow him at Mizzou, I think he's going to show up and show out if he stays healthy and if they can get him the ball. Roma Doomsday too, man. Don't forget about him. He had some highlight moments. But all in all, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to gaslight, right? If they win this game, it won't be because their receiving core, right? I don't think their receiving core can get it done. It has a lot of potential. Very young, very, very young. And a pretty solid tight end with Loveland Coast in there. But on the flip side of the ball, when it comes to the defense, you still got Grady Jarrett up there, former Atlanta Falcon. We know all about him. They got the safety that we wanted from Oregon, Dylan Demon, back there. So that's going to be a nice little fit. Their nickelback collar, Gordon. Devin Bush, will linebacker, and Montez Sweat, who, was formerly with the Commanders, had a 10-sack season last year. So if I had to just kind of give my brief synopsis here early, I think the Bears beat the Carolina Panthers week 1, so I'm not going to give them that. And that's the only reason why I say that is that run defense, man. I don't believe in it, okay? I don't believe in it. Should be a good, fun game. I don't think it'll be a blowout here. It's going to be one of those games where, you're going to get wore down. Now, mind you, that's the first game of the season. It's going to be hot, all right? Let's take a little break here. Let me ask you guys a question. I need you to go vote on tonight's poll. Tonight's poll says the biggest takeaway of the schedule release. We got 2 primetime games. We have our tough games early. Other takeaway, or we got 1 road game in the cold. Again, what is your biggest takeaway of today's schedule release? 2 primetime games, tough games early, other, or 1 cold game on the road. So, week 1, I give us a L. Very good performance, but I think the Bears control the run. Week 2, we come on down to the duddy. That's right, Atlanta Falcons, man. What to make of these guys? If anybody knows anything about the Carolina Panthers, if anybody knows anything about Bryce Young, he owns the Atlanta Falcons. You know what I mean? as much criticism, critique that I have for the gentleman, I will not criticize and critique him when it comes to his ownership of the Atlanta Falcons. Bryce Young is the Falcons' daddy. Simply put, right? Yeah, he's their daddy. He's the daddy, right? So with that being said, I don't see nothing changing. You know what I mean? Bouncing back off a loss from the Chicago Bears here. Michael Penix or Tua Tagovailoa. You got one with a busted up knee. You got one with a concussion. You know what I mean? Pick your poison. You know what I mean? It don't really matter to me, man. I mean, neither one of these guys are very good. I think Michael Penix's career may be over sooner than later. I don't wish bad on nobody, right? Just talking about the optics when it comes to, you know, bouncing back from injuries and stuff like that, man. So, if you ask me, favorable matchup here, division rival. It's always good to get these games out the way early. You know what I mean? Or for some people, you rather play them late, depending on if they're cooking or not. But the Atlanta Falcons, whether we play them early, whether we play them late, I don't care, man. If you look at some of the moves they made this offseason, again, they brought in Michael Penix here, got rid of Kirk Cousins, got rid of him. When you look at the receiving core, very, very minish. For the love of me, I don't know why the Falcons won't go out here and get Drake London some help. They did re-sign Kyle Pitts, tender to a franchise tag. But outside of that, when it comes to receiving threat, Jahad Johnson, Omar Zacharias, neither one of those guys ain't shit. They did bring in, I'm sorry, I'll take that back. They did bring in Zachariah Branch. I apologize. Somebody who I was pounding the table for, Zachariah Branch, who I thought my Carolina Panthers should have taken, right? I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. I live in Athens, Georgia. Go Dogs, sick 'em, woo, woo, woo. When I tell you guys, you know, passing up on Zacharias Branch is a fucking mistake. You're going to find out the hard way. This could be the next Calvin Ridley, in his prime or hybrid, right? But early on, you know, he may have his rookie struggles, but I expect a lot out of him. So, all in all, man, flipping to the defensive side of the ball here. Man, they had so much turnover on this defensive line. They got Deshaun Hanson, Zach Harrison. They still got the stud Jalen Walker, Divine Diablo, former Las Vegas Raider, James Pierce. You know, he's been in a little bit of legal trouble. He out here whipping bitches and shit, you know what I mean, whipping up on cops and bitches. So, you know, we don't know what James Pierce will be or if he will face some kind of league suspension here. They have some young bucks that can get after you now. You know what I mean? Pearson and, it's going to be interesting to see Walker's development here. You know, he did have 5.5 sacks, man. One of the criticism, I spoke to his dad, right? When we passed on him, his dad reached out to me and was like, yo, man, I thought this would have been a good fit. And, you know what I mean? We're kind of heartbroken, right? So I said, yeah, man, you know, shit. Like, I ain't got no control over it, but shout out to the Walker family. We might be some kin. Stay right there. But, maybe his development takes a better turn for year 2. We'll find out. But all in all, man, if you look at their lineup here, they did bring in A.J. Terrell's brother from Clemson. You know what I mean? So that should be a nice little nickel back for them as well. They got a lot of young pieces on that defense. You know, if you're a Falcon fan, you should be inspired by the future of the Falcons defense, right? You know what I mean? So I know this is a Panther podcast, but I'm just trying to lay out what we're going up against. You should be inspired by the future of that defense. I don't think they're going to be the shit just yet, but I think if they stay healthy and they keep building, they will. Offensively right now, outside of Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts, you really don't have much of nothing. Offensive line can be a hospital tent, rotating hospital tent. So because of that, I think the Panthers start off 1-1. I think we beat the Falcons, man. Like I said, I'm not sold on the Falcons offensively. You know what I mean? Defensively, I think it could cause some fits for Bryce Young. But, you know, what we do, you know, best is probably going to be better than what they struggle at. You know what I mean? So, because of that, I'm giving the 1-1 start to the Panthers here. Moving on to week 3. Can anybody say, show me the money, must be the money? That's right, we got prime time. Well, not quite prime time. We got his son, Shedeur Sanders, rolling in. Oh, we're rolling into Cleveland, right? You know what I mean? Shout out to Cleveland, man. Should be a fun game. I don't know who we quite going to see here, right? A lot of people's already, you know, from what I'm hearing out of Mary Kay Bot up there in Cleveland, you know, which is the beat reporter, and other NFL analysts, they're saying that Deshaun Watson is a starter. That's what I'm hearing, right? Deshaun Watson hasn't played in a long time, so I don't necessarily know what we're going to get or if we're going to get anything out of Deshaun Watson. Man, get it real quick in the chat. If Deshaun Watson starts, and let's say Deshaun Watson's on his A game, do you still think we can beat him? All right, give me a quick little feedback right there. But for this purposes only, let's go ahead and stick with it. Let's say Deshaun Watson starts. He's healthy. He comes back out, and he looks like the Deshaun Watson that, back in the early days. I doubt it, okay? I just want to doubt it here. The fact that we play these guys early and we play them on the road is a very scary situation. Very scary, because now they actually have a running game. Nick Chubb was injury prone later in his career. Man, he did so much for that franchise. Another former Georgia Bulldog here. But Quinshon Judkins is the life and the heartbeat of that run game, right? And this goes back to what I was saying with the Carolina Panthers. Have we did enough to stop the run? That's the reason why I have us losing to the Bears week 1. You know what I mean? I think they do just enough on the ground. Do just enough in the air, but the ground is going to be the meat and potatoes. Same situation here. Quinshon Judkins, Ohio State running back here, could be, the same situation. Now, when it comes to the receiving core, they did pick up Texas A&M star KC Conception, all right, and Denzel Boston from Washington, and a late budding star. And this guy from Bowling Green, man, I don't know if you paid attention to Cleveland, but this kid from fucking Cleveland, Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end. I know a lot of you guys, you talk about Travis Kelce, you guys talk about, Brock Bowers, former Georgia Bulldog, Go Dog Sick'em. But Harold Fannin Jr., man, fucking monster, dog. He crushed last year, man. Over 72 receptions, 731 yards, and 6 touchdowns. This could be the X factor in this game on the road. Nice, steady run game. You got young budding stars such as Casey Conception and Denzel Boston, and you got the savvy veteran and Jerry Jeudy. But again, I'm not scared of nobody's necessarily passing game, right? We got 2 of the best cornerbacks in the game. Okay, we got freaking J.C. Horn. We got Mike Jackson. You know what I mean? So when it comes to their receiving game, shout out to them. You know what I mean? But ultimately, this is going to be a run situation here. Maybe they target our nickel back here. Maybe they target Shaw Smith-Way. I don't know if we did enough to bring in another nickel here. Corey Thornton had his moments last year. Nick Scott is definitely back there. So if they did want to target somebody in the passing game, I would feel real uneasy with Nick Scott being back there, right? So offensively, run game's the monster. Harold Fannin is probably the weapon next right there. Offensive line, they did pick up Spencer Fano, a kid from University of Utah, somebody who I beat at the table for as well. If they can get that quarterback room right, it should be pretty interesting time. And if they get the quarterback room right, it could be interesting. Okay. Defensive side of the ball. Week 3, we're going to be looking at Mason Graham. You already know how I feel about Big Graham, man. You know what I mean? Had 0.5 sacks last year in his in becoming year. You also got Malik Collins, Myles Garrett, Alex Wright. And if I'm not mistaken, Jeremiah Owusu, I think he retired, or did he's on injured reserve now. He had a neck injury back in last year and it's still giving him problems. So prayers up to him, man. But defensive line, you already know what you're getting when you're facing the Cleveland Browns here. With the defensive line, you got Carson Schweber back there, played pretty good last year. 2.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, 67 tackles here. Grant Delpit, Denzel Ward, the other savvy veteran back there. Ultimately, week 3 in Cleveland, man. I just, I don't know, man. I don't know how to necessarily feel about this, right? Because I like their run game. I'm not worried about their passing game. Myles Garrett is a monster. And we did a good job on our offensive line, right? We made sure to protect our tackles this year in case injuries happen. You got Akeem Ekwonu, who possibly could miss some time, but you got Rasheed Walker right there. You know what I mean? Taylor Moton, if he, tends to be in and out. You got Monroe Freeland right there. And then not to mention another good pickup here, Luke Fortner, former New Orleans Saints product here. One of the best centers in the game, if you ask me, top 10 at least when it comes to pass pressure allowed. So will it be enough to negate the Browns, defensive line when it comes to Applying pressure, I don't know. We're getting started. Plus, a lot of this is tentative based on injuries here. But I think they did a hell of a job trying to work on this offensive line. I will say that. I won't take that away from them. I will give them credit for that hell of a job. But is it enough against Cleveland on the road? If you look at what we do best on defense, which is defend the pass, and they did do some good jobs when it comes to picking up edge rushers to get pressure. Nick Scotton finish off the season pretty strong there, right? If he stays healthy, I'd like to see a full campaign with him. You got Devin Lloyd, Trevion Wallace, if he stays healthy as well. You got Jalen Phillips, if he stays healthy. There's a lot of ifs, man. God damn, bro. You know, if was a fifth, nigga, we'll be Super Bowl champions today. But if isn't a fifth, and because of that, this really comes to the quarterback play. So I'm gonna say this. Just to go on record with my prediction for this game, the Cleveland Browns game. Man, I'm gonna call this an L, man. And the only reason why I call it an L, man. So don't come at me too bad. Don't come at me too bad. Is that run defense? I don't believe in it, man. I don't believe in it. I don't think Deshaun Watson's that damn good that we can't beat him or stop him. And I don't think Shadour's that damn good that we can't stop or beat him. Again, this could be another low-scoring defensive affair. And when it comes to low-scoring defensive affair, who can run the ball better? You got Mason Graham and you got Myles Garrett on that side of the ball. If I'm a betting man, I'm taking them to negate our fucking run game. And we just don't know. I could be wrong here. So with that being said, man, I'm just going to stick to the script here. And I'm going to say the Panthers start off 1-2. Okay. We beat the Bears. We beat the Falcons. We lose to the Bears. We beat the Falcons and we lose to the Browns on the road. But don't worry. Don't cry. Because we got Sunday Night Football the following week, huh? We got Sunday Night Football the following week against the Detroit Lions. What better to fix the loss than, facing the Detroit Lions at home in Carolina? How do we feel about the Panthers real quick having 2 primetime games? We got a Sunday Night Football, 3 primetime games, I misspoke. 3 primetime games. We got a Sunday night, a Thursday night, and a Monday night football games. I misspoke in the poll. How do we feel about seeing the Panthers on primetime? I'm a little bit superstitious here. The Panthers don't do well on primetime. I'm sorry, man. Panthers don't do well. And after coming off of a tough loss against Cleveland here, man, the last team I want to see is the fucking Detroit Lions. You know what I mean? Be honest with you. You know what I mean? So let's see. Let me write this down. Hold on. We got 1-2. All right, we start out 1-2. Come home, play the Detroit Lions, and if you look at the Lions roster, the Lions underperformed last year, man. Unfortunately, they underperformed. They had a very good opportunity to really sink their teeth into that division, but they slipped up and let the Bears get a hold of that, man. So I think they're coming for blood for the league, not just for our ass, but for the league too, man. Stay right there. Shout out to Chris Griggs for that super sticker. Thank you, brother. This is a monetized platform. He says, I missed this. I'm actually learning and entertained. Man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for that super sticker here. Now, Lions are coming for blood. They underperformed last year. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff, Amar Ross St. Brown, the Sun God. Put some respect on the Sun God. Jameis Williamson. You got Sam Laporta. And then you got that offensive line with Penei Sewell. They got our former... They got our former Carolina Panthers center, Cade Mays, as well. Okay, defensive side of the ball, you got Aiden Hutchinson. Defensive line, when it comes to tackle, you ap Liam McNeil, former NC State product there as well. DJ Wanham, another Carolina Panther product. So we're going to see a former Carolina Panther products on this team right here. Okay, nice little D line: Hutchinson, McNeil, Wanham. When it comes to linebacking core, Jack Campbell, seems like he's been around forever. You got Brian Branch. You got Terrion Arnold at cornerback. And you also got DJ Reed at cornerback as well. Now, when you're facing the Detroit Lions, man, you have to put up points. Okay? I don't necessarily care about, how good they are. I mean, we know what they do. They put up points. They put up points from everywhere and anywhere, man. You know what I mean? They their wide receiver, man, Brown could take over a game just like that. But the sad thing about it, Jameson Williamson, their speedsters, the same. He's capable of that too. It's like they're just like the perfect offensive juggernaut, dog. And then you got Jahmyr Gibbs, who's not only a threat on the ground, he can catch out the backfield. And now, although we won't have Sonic and Knuckles no more, or Sonic and Tails, or Sonic and Knuckles, whatever those boys call themselves, right? Because David Montgomery did leave. They do have Isaiah Pacheco. A lot of people say, well, Pacheco ain't what he used to be, yada, 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 yada. I hear that, right? You best believe if you put somebody that's been struggling in the wrong offense, you put them in the right offense, there's a strong chance that you can see some progression. And I feel the same way about Isaiah Pacheco. Could be a nice little sleeper in fantasy leagues here. So with that being said here, man, I don't know, man. Shout out to Derek B with that big super zika. Let's go. Yes, sir. Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. All right, coming off a 1-2 spell here, man. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to hurt your heart right here. Sunday Night Football. Panthers go down 1-3 to start the seasons here, man. I just don't think we have enough to keep up with this offense. Okay, the Panthers got real lucky last year because we were able to control the clock by running the ball with Rico Dowdle. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Rico Dowdle's not back there. Okay? Chuba Hubbard is amazing. I love Chuba Hubbard. You know what I mean? He got his money. You know what I mean? So I do expect for him to work for his monies. You know what I mean? But we're not doing that shit again where we rush for 200 yards every other week. And oh my God, we got saved. You know what I mean? nah, dog. That shit ain't happening. So with that being said, on a short week, tough loss to Tampa. I mean, tough loss to Cleveland. You get the treat to come home and face the Detroit Lions, and it doesn't end well. We start our season off 1-3. The only game we win in the first 4 games will be the Atlanta Falcons. All right, now, I got a little bit of a concern here, man. Okay? The Carolina Panthers got their first bye week after week 4. Let me break that down to you guys. Did you hear what I said and the importance of what I said? The Carolina Panthers got their first bye week after week 4. So you're telling me from October to damn near January, they're going to be playing football with no break. If you know the history of the Carolina Panthers when it comes to injuries, especially on the offensive line, I would rather have our bye late in the season. And this schedule is brutal early, man. This shit is early. It's an early bye week, man. And this schedule, man, oh, God, boy, keep on the seed, man. My God. All right, we start off 1-3. We get a bye week. Week 6 here. The Philadelphia Eagles. We go on the road, all right? Philadelphia Eagles on the road. Jalen Hurts. Whether or not A.J. Brown will be there, I don't know. You know what I mean? People sit here and say that A.J. Brown's going to be traded. He hasn't been gone yet, so we're going to act like A.J. Brown is still on this roster. Still could be a potential in the league. Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, and they got Malachi Lemon, the retard for USC. I can't believe I'm so ashamed of Panther Nation. A lot of you guys were crying over this fool, Malachi Lemon. This guy, I don't want to cast any dispersions on him, man, but this gentleman made a complete ass of himself at the draft combine or whatever, you know what I mean? He was doing a lot, right? So I'm glad we passed up on him, but let's not act a fool now. This dude has some good talent on him, all right? So you got Malachi, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley. You still got Dallas Goedert there. I didn't know he was still on the team. Let's take a look. Their defensive line, full of Georgia Bulldogs, Jalen Carter, Go Dog Sick'em, Jordan Davis, Go Dog Sick'em. They got the edge rusher Nolan Smith, Go Dog Sick'em, full of Georgia Bulldogs. Oh, I love that. Zach Brown in the linebacker role, Jahad Campbell, Rick Woolen, cornerback out there from Seattle, is now a Philadelphia Eagle. And if you look at their safety, Marcus Epps, Andrew Mabuke, and Cooper DeJean at the nickel cornerback, and Quishon Mitchell at the right cornerback. So, look, man, I'm not gonna really sugarcoat this. I'm not a sugarcoat channel. That's why when you go live, you're gonna get that pure, right? You're gonna get that pure, unadulterated, just truth. We're not beating the Eagles. We're not beating the Eagles. This goes back to what I said about stopping the run. And I just don't see it, man. I think we slide to 1-4. Too much firepower across the line. And most importantly, let's say, because Jalen Hurts is not that good of a quarterback, all right? Cam Newton's right about that. I don't agree with Cam Newton on a lot of shit he says, but Hurts has been carried a lot. Hurts definitely has been carried a lot, right? And with that being said, man, I think we got enough to pressure Hurts off his spot in this game. All right, and thank God to the NFL schedule because they allow for this game to be early in the season. I'm glad we ain't facing Philadelphia in the fucking frozen part of the year, right? So we're gonna see can Lee Hunter show up and plug some of these holes to stop Saquon. We're gonna see can Nick Scorton and we're gonna see can the $1 million man Jalen Phillips get to Jalen Hurts. Get to Jalen Hurts. Let's not mention Devin Lloyd. I think our defense keeps this game extremely interesting when it comes to stopping the pass, right? Because the fact that we're going to play the pass so well, I believe in Michael Jackson. And I also believe in J.C. Horn, right? Things that are unproven are this edge rusher as a completion. Now, on paper, this damn defensive linebacker room looks good, right? Looks real good, damn good. But we know football's not played on paper. So I definitely think they move him off spot. They may get to Hurts a couple of times. Ultimately, I don't see you stopping Saquon Barkley. And this is one of these games where one play can really turn the title of the game, right? I can see like a Mekhi Lemon, or I can see like a Devontae Smith breaking down like a 40, 50-yard pass late in the game to really demoralize us, man. And because of that, well-fought game, definitely going to be interesting. I think the Panthers lose to the Philadelphia Eagles. So that'll bring our record to 1-4. Okay. Just to recap here, I got us losing to the Bears, beat the Falcons week 2. We lose to the Browns week 3. Sunday Night Football, lose to the Lions week 4. And week 5, we lose to the Philadelphia Eagles. We come back home and we play a 1 o'clock game week 7 against the Buccaneers, right? Buccaneers are interesting case here, man. The reason why I said it interesting is because Mike Evans is gone. A lot of you guys believe Mike Evans is gone, that we have a chance, right? I'm not here to crap on the Carolina Panthers. I'm a realist. I like to just give you my perspective. Don't mean that I'm wrong or doesn't mean that I'm right either, man. But, yeah, Mike Evans is gone, but they still got Baker Mayfield, and they got one of my favorite running backs in the game. And, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say one of my favorite running backs in the game, Bucky Irvin, right? Bucky Irvin. They got Chris Godwin and Emeka Egbuka, a guy who showed out last year, at least to start the season. He kind of tapered off towards the end of the year. But with him having a bigger role because Mike Evans is gone, I don't see him slowing down. So Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, Jalen McMillan, Cade Otton, right? Offensive line-wise, they got Tristan Wirth. He's still there. Luke Gordick, Cody Munchin. And if you want to flip to the defensive side of the ball, Vita Villa still there. Ashawn Robinson, which is former Carolina Panther trash. You got Ruben Bain, okay? A lot of people saying Ruben Bain is the truth. You know what I mean? We'll find out here, okay? Ruben Bain has helped that out. Defensive line out. Alex Anzalano. Yaya Diabe, pretty good there. Tyke Smith at safety. Antoine Winfield at free safety. And that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of the Buccaneers. So 1-4, we got to stop the bleeding. We definitely got to stop the bleeding against a division rival here. Look, man. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it positive. I'm trying to keep it positive, right? I like the fact that the Panthers, they made some adjustments on defense. And last year, man, when we played the Buccaneers, you know what I mean? It's one of them things where I think the Buccaneers are going to bounce back. The Buccaneers are going to be okay. Ruben Bain, Vita Villa on that defensive line there. Those are nice defensive pieces, right? Is it enough for me to say, ooh, I'm scared? No, it's not enough to say that. I see Carolina Panthers, man. A lot of those games that were in our favor last year, and I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of those games that were in our favor last year that we won by a couple points here or a couple possessions here, I feel like this is the year where that shit's going to flip, right? Because we were able to, control the run and do all this other stuff with, what's his name? Rico Dotto, right? I just feel like those games going to slip through the cracks, and this could be another one. Baker Mayfield is not perfect. Baker Mayfield's going to throw you the ball a couple times, get you a couple interceptions if you want to be honest. If they have a chance, it will be with Bucky Irvin, okay? They got Bucky Irvin there. Chris Godwin, another situation, you know what I mean, where a guy, if he can stay healthy, he can make nightmares for you. Somebody that you guys probably never heard of by the name of Ted Hurst, a wide receiver, which is school I'm at, my alumni school here, Georgia State. Ted Hurst is going to be a problem. Ted Hurst is going to be somebody that's going to come out the blue and really, when I tell you, man, this wide receiver can make any and every catch, and he has the burners to turn on you, man. I mean, he's just that kind of guy, so don't sleep on that. I like the fact that we played the Buccaneers early so we can kind of get a feel for them. I don't know. I don't know. So, I'm just looking at this roster. I'm looking at what we got here. Usually Bryce holds his own at least for a half against the Buccaneers, and then usually, shit, falls apart for Brycey Poo. But don't worry about our offensive weapons. I mean, we got Chuba Hubbard, we got Ted McMillan. I think the world of Jalen Croker, if you ask me. I think Jalen Croker's the man. To me, Jalen Croker, if he can stay healthy, should be our number 2, right? Only problem is he's never healthy. I never seen somebody with so much fucking talent not take what's his. Jalen Croker, if you're listening, that number 2 position is yours, dog. I don't know if you need to drink some more muscle milk or what. Stay healthy, dog, and that number 2 spot is yours. Okay? But with that being said, man, see, is this a home game or is it a away game? I think we get the Bucs, man. Let me give you something to cheer about. The Bucs, man, it's a tricky team, man. You know what I mean? It's a tricky fucking team, bro. I don't seen the Bucs run through niggas, but I don't know if Baker, lost a step. I know maybe last year was a mulligan for them. They definitely had weapons to really, show out here. I don't necessarily believe in Bryce is going to go out there and dominate the Bucs. But how many times have we seen Bryce go out there and play a game where he doesn't have to have a dominant performance and they still win? This is a situation where I feel like that could be the same scenario here. I give it to the Panthers at home, right? So we start off the season 2-6. We beat the Falcons. We beat the Bucs in the first 7 games here. I like the Bucs, man. Like I said, just something about them that says proceed with caution. Again, this could be a split season with them. You know what I mean? This could be one of them seasons where we win, then they win, or we could outright sweep them, or they could outright sweep us. You know what I mean? I just don't know. But for this purpose here, I think Bryce doesn't have to have a dominant performance, right? I just don't think so. And because of that, and it's at home, I feel good and comfortable saying that the Carolina Panthers will beat the Buccaneers week 7. They'll beat them week 7, okay? Start off 2-4. All right, Thursday Night Football, coming off a good divisional win. You got the Green Bay Packers, and you got them on the road. This game is in October now. Things are getting a little chilly. You want to eat your chili? We got a Thursday night football game. What's this? Week 8 in Lambeau Field. It's getting a little chilly in October. Now they got Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed. You know, I gotta tell you, man, I'm highly confident in our secondary, minus Nick Scott. I don't give a shit about Nick Scott. No offense if you're listening, somebody know him. No offense. I don't believe in Nick Scott. I don't even know why that nigga signed, right? So in our second primetime game, we take on the Packers. This time, our primetime game is on the road here. I don't care for this wide receiver core when it comes to the Packers. There's nobody in this wide receiver room that scares me or should scare J.C. Horner or Mike Jackson. Christian Watson is mid as hell. Jaden Reed is mid as hell. Matthew Golden is mid as hell. There's only one person in this receiving room, outside of the receiving room, is the tight end, Tucker Kraft. Now, Tucker Kraft is that white boy. That white boy can tear your ass up clean. I don't see Tucker Kraft if you know what I mean? And we have struggled. You know, we seen last year when we played the Jacksonville Jaguars, when we faced that nigga there. You know, what's that big black nigga we faced for Jacksonville last year? Early and often, he tore a hole in our asses. And this could be a situation, too, where they run the ball and they dump that shit down to Tucker Kraft, and he do the Lord's work on us, right? Could be that situation here. Let's take a look here, man. When it comes to this defense here, they got Devontae Wyatt, Javon Hargrave, Luke Van Ness, Edgerrin Cooper here, former Texas A&M product here, 2 forced fumbles last year. Micah Parsons still there. Zaire Franklin, man, somebody who definitely got washed through the cracks here, man. If you guys don't know, Zaire Franklin was that nigga up in Indianapolis. In Indianapolis, he was that nigga for a while. I don't know if it was injuries or just production. So maybe he can have a bounce back year with him and Micah Parsons. Keep your eyes on that linebacking core. Nice. You got Keyshawn Nixon as well at the cornerback room. Xavier McKinney in free safety. Former Georgia Bulldog and Javion Bullard as well. Primetime games, Carolina Panthers don't perform well. Why or how they keep ending up in the fucking primetime games, I don't know. This year, you guys are going to learn why the NFL hides the Carolina Panthers off a primetime game. You motherfuckers are going to find out the hard way. Now, just as much as I say the Lions, shit, you know what I mean? Lions did what they did to us the week before, and then you see what happened when we faced the 49ers last year, primetime games. Like I said, I'm not scared of this wide receiver room. I'm not scared of Jordan Love. Last year, it took a miracle for us to beat the Packers on the road. They had to rush for 200 yards. The Panthers had to have one nigga go off for 200 yards to barely beat them. You think that shit's happen again? Hell no. Hell no. You barely skeeted by last year against the Packers. This year, they're going to teach you why your ass should never be on primetime. So 0-2 in primetime games here. Micah Parsons has a field day on Bryce Young. May even predict a fucking sack from an interception for Zaire Franklin. And I don't believe in this run game just yet, on paper, right? Now, I want you to understand something. My views may be subject to change, right? My views may be subject to change. But as of right now, show me. You're going to have to show me. We'll find out here soon, I guess, later on in the season, what this run defense do. Shout out to Big Lee. Shout out to Bobby Brown, Derek Brown, all the motherfuckers. But right now, I'm just scary. I'm just, I'm not necessarily having a good bill of confidence with that. Because of that, I think the Panthers drop down to 2-5. We lose another primetime game against the Green Bay Packers here, man. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe if you would. All right. Now, coming off a Thursday night football game, the Panthers take on the Denver Broncos at home. Big Dick Bo Nix. I like him. I love him. I want some more of him. I love Big Bo Nix. You're going to find out why that acronym is in there, okay? Because he's going to fuck you. Big Dick Nick's gonna fuck you. That's why. Bo Nix comes into town, and I believe what is this week? What is this week? 9 or 10? Give me a second there. Put my glasses on. Week 9. Big Bo Nix. Panthers coming in the town. J.K. Dobbins, Jordan, Cortland Sutton, Jalen Waddle, Troy Franklin, Evan Ingram. What a delicious combination here. Zach Allen on the defensive end. Good old White Thunder there. 7 sacks season last year. Alex Singleton in the linebacker room. 1 sack, 1 interception last year. You got Riley Moss, who had a great postseason run there. Shout out to big Riley Moss. And the guy who I wanted us to draft that we did not draft, Patrick Surtain, former NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 7 pass breakup, 1 interception last year. Might be the best cornerback in the league. And a secret weapon here, man. Tulanga Hungafunga, safety, former 49ers is coming over there. So it looked like this defense could make some noise. And don't forget it. Forgive me for saying this. Jonathan Cooper, the linebacker, 8 sacks last year. Don't want to mention him. Hey, look, man. Panthers fan, I pray to God that this team wins a Super Bowl one day. I pray that we find a quarterback, whatever the fuck. The firepower that this defense is capable of, man, it's a lot to overcome. Especially not knowing the certainty of our offense, right? We hope that Akeem McConnell is there healthy. You know what I mean? And we hope that Taylor Moton stays healthy, along with the rest of the fellas. And I think they did a pretty good job bringing us some insurance here, but by this time of the season, week 9, I'm expecting for, some people to kind of be injured, you know what I mean? Or going through, battling through injuries. I mean, for God's sakes, we take on Myles Garrett week 3, you know what I mean? Then you got Aiden Hutchinson week 4. You got Jalen Carter week 6. And Jordan Davis week 6. You got Villa week 7. God damn, man, somebody gonna get fucked up. You know what I mean? So by week 9, nigga, somebody sold than a motherfucker. You know what I mean? No disrespect. Somebody gonna be sold. I mean, damn, bro. The first 7 games, my nigga, you facing hog molly like a motherfucker, dog. You know what I mean? No disrespect, man. So going into the Broncos game, dog, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Shit, dog. You know what I mean? Just hear me out, bro. I'm not trying to say hype, dog. I'm not a hype guy. I'm not a hype beast. This defensive line is probably gonna take advantage of this Carolina Panthers offensive line all day long when we play the Denver Broncos. Not to mention J.K. Dobbins, like I said, if he stays healthy, he did run for 700 yards last year. In this offense, the system with Sean Payton is so perfect, man. You know what I mean? Bo Nix, as good as he is as a quarterback, I like to say equally, Sean Payton is that good of a fucking coach. I think Sean Payton is just that good of a fucking coach, bro. And because of that, I think you're going to see not only is Bo Nix going to beat us on the ground, but then you got the opportunity through the air. Although I love Mike Jackson and I do love J.C. Horn, Jalen Waddle is the problem, dog. And Jalen Waddle came here last year with the Miami Dolphins and cooked our ass. And then you got Cortland Sutton on the outside. And then you got another speedster, Troy Franklin. You know what I mean? You just got problems across the board. If this was like a 1-2 punch, you know what I mean? They just got, man, when you look at the perfect offense to have, this might be close to it. Because they're established through the ground and the quarterback runs on the ground. Their quarterback is essentially like a second running back. So if you control the tempo and the pace of the run, the play action is going to be there. And then you got speedsters all over the road. Just take one throw. Just take one throw and catch, man. And because of that, and then this defense too, you know what I mean? This defense, man, they're just stacked from back to front. Patrick Surtain, Riley Moss, dog. You know what I mean? Jeez, man. Zach Allen. Oh, boy. Damn, man. I'm looking at this defense on paper, by the way, if you guys are wondering. Just I think Bryce is gonna have I have a headache. He's gonna have a headache this game here. And I'm giving the win to the Denver Broncos. All right. So we start off 2-6. All right. So keep your head up. We're 2-6 when it comes to week 9. But don't worry, I got a little treat for you. Week 10, we got the New Orleans Saints. A lot of Saints fans out there believe that they're going to win the division. Y'all believe that? A lot of Saints fans, man. You know what I mean? And let me say this. Why I say that. This is the perfect segue to say, please do not use drugs. There are enough Saints fans out here on it. So please, let's not use drugs. All right. Now, with that being said, the Saints come into, we go on the road, we go down to the dirty Nala for some red beans and rice in November. Good thing this is in the dome because by November 15th, it's probably going to be chilly. You going to eat your chili? It's going to be chilly down there, okay? This is a different New Orleans team. Different New Orleans team here. They got rid of a lot of their household names, a lot of the pillars of that team. This team is finally rebuilding, man. You know what I mean? But with that being said, Tyler Shockball or Showboat, whatever you want to fucking call him, he did throw for 2,384 yards, 10 touchdowns against 6 interceptions. Alvin Kamara's no longer the feature back there. They picked up Travis Etienne. Mid-ass move, you know what I mean? Etienne is, I think he cooked our ass. God damn. We're going to see a lot of familiar faces from last year. Jalen Waddle, who cooked our ass. Travis Etienne cooked our ass last year. Damn. So we're going to see him twice a year. I see why the Carolina Panthers, for their schedule release video, I see why they were blowing up shit, because that's what's going to happen to us. I see why they were blowing shit up on their schedule release. Anywho, Travis Etienne, who beat our ass last year. Alvin Kamara, you got 2 times the fun. Chris Olave and Jordan Tyson. A lot of you guys, shout out to Craig Boone, Big Boone. He was in love with Jordan Tyson. You got Devon Vele. You got Juan Johnson. Cesar Ruiz. Eric McCoy on the offensive line. On the defensive side of the ball, Brian Breezy, Carl Granderson, Caden Ellis, Pete Warner. They still have Chase Young, who had a 10-sack season last year. Shout out to Chase Young. Kool-Aid McKinstry, man. 3 interceptions last year. Okay? And Quincy Riley from the University of Louisville. This team has potential. I can see it on paper. I see why the Saints fans are happy, man. I definitely will say I see why Saints fans are happy. Offensively, I think there's a lot of potential. A lot of potential, man. This Tyler Shope guy, I know a lot of you guys wanted to see Spencer Rattler start because he is a South Carolina Gamecock, or former South Carolina Gamecock. But, all in all, man, it's not a bad offense, man, if they use it right here. You got 2 dual threat running backs, catch and run. And you got potential to have 2, top 25 wide receivers in Olave and Jordan Tyson. The problem is for the Saints is this defensive side of the ball here. You got a little bit of old and you got a little bit of new. You got Chase Young, you got Caden Ellis, who are older people. You know what I mean? You got Pete Warner as well. And then you got Kool-Aid McKinstry, and you got others out here. I'm not scared of the Saints, man. With that being said, you guys know you don't have to fucking get scared to get knocked out in here. And I expect for this game to be another knockout fight. You know what I mean? I don't think the Saints are going to give it up easy here. But let's be honest. There is no Demario Davis. What's that old-ass nigga with the beard? He's gone. What's that nigga with the beard that they used to terrorize our ass? He's gone. That defensive end. So with that being said, I think the third win on the season is going to come down to New Orleans. You know what I mean? Could be a close, hard-fought game November 15th, but I think the Panthers pull this one out. Maybe a close game, right? Maybe a close game. All right. After that, we face the Baltimore Ravens. This is a game where we're going to have a meet and greet. Shout out to my nigga DZ, man. He's a Ravens fan. He said, Big Cat, he told me, Big Cat, please, I want this game to be in the warm weather. Well, sorry, nigga. You got to come down here in the cold. November 22nd, which is the week of Thanksgiving, we get the Baltimore Ravens. And let me just kind of let you in something, okay? Come here. Put your ear to the screen. I'm going to let you into a little secret. I think highly of the Ravens this year. So much so, I believe the Baltimore Ravens and the 49ers will be Super Bowl participants. I do. Now, the only thing about this Ravens-Panthers matchup later in the season is Lamar Jackson has a tendency to not be healthy around this time of year. For whatever reason, Lamar Jackson can't stay healthy. And I pray he does, because I want this to be a good, fun showing, right? I don't want us to beat up on, back up Tyler Huntley. But I think the world of the Ravens, I think the world of the Niners. And if they stay healthy, November 22nd, the week of Thanksgiving, they're going to give us something to be thankful for. And that thing that we're going to be thankful for is that we got at least 6-7 more games with Bryce Young, because they're going to beat the dogs. They're going to beat the ever-loving dog shit out of us. Lamar Jackson, this is his year. This is his year, man. If he don't do it this year, it's not happening, dog. It's not happening. We've seen Josh Allen choke without Mahomes in the playoff. He got bested by Bo Nix. You know what I mean? It's your window, Lamar. You got Derrick Henry. I don't believe the Carolina Panthers can stop the run. I'm going to keep saying that until proven innocent. The Panthers are guilty of not stopping the run until proven innocent. Derrick Henry probably going to rush for 200 yards in this game. It's already cold. If anybody plays football, you know when it gets cold, it hurts when you get hit. I'll tell you a little story here, man. When I used to play football, dog, I made a tackle in the cold, bro. I had my shoulder extended. I had a stinger. That stinger hurted so much, I lost feeling in my arm and in my fingers. It was cold as hell. So even as a big boy, tackling somebody up Derrick Henry, is no fun, especially when it's cold. When it comes to the receiving weapons, they do have Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Devontae Walker. Okay. Mid. Zay Flowers is cool. They did pick up Jacoby Lame as well. USC product. Has potential there. But make no doubt about it, the Ravens is not trying to throw the ball, nigga. They're not trying to throw the ball, dog. Them niggas going to keep that shit on that ground, and they're going to run the hell out of it. And if that's not good enough for you, if you feel like, well, the Panthers can somehow, we did enough in the draft. We picked up Big Lee, and we got Bobby Brown and Derrick Brown to stop the run. Okay, let's say that happens. Let's say the Carolina Panthers week, what is this? Let's say the Carolina Panthers week 11 somehow show up to stop the run. Well, on the flip side of the ball, you got Inepke Matabuke. You got John Jenkins, Roquan Smith, Trey Henderson, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Stark, Marlon Humphreys. God damn, this shit ain't fair, bro. You got two former Georgia Bulldogs, Roquan Smith and Malachi Starks. Nigga, go dog, sick 'em. Malachi Starks, Trey Henderson, Roquan Smith, Inepke Matabuke, Marlon Humphreys. This might be one of them games where Bryce may throw for 54 yards. You're not throwing on these niggas if that's what you think. Can you run on them? Can you run on the Baltimore Ravens? Shit, man. Look, man, I don't want to even be negative no more, dog. Let's just wrap this up. Another loss, 3-7. Quote the Panthers no more. Quote the Panthers no more. Okay? I'm not even gonna justify that shit. You know what I mean? It is what it is here. Week 12, we played Monday Night Football against the Bucs. Okay? So far, if you're keeping along here, I got us beating the Falcons. I got us beating the Saints. And I also got us beating the Buccaneers. Okay? I got us beating the Falcons week 2. I got us beating the Saints week 10. and I got us beating the Buccaneers week 7. But incoming week 12, the Panthers play the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. I don't know if there's a first time in history. Has anybody ever been swept on all of their primetime games? Real quick in the chat, has anybody ever been swept on all of their primetime games? Somebody real quick. We got them early in the season, and this time they're having Monday Night Football and Tampa. First of all, Tampa's a beautiful place. If you niggas ain't never left the city of Charlotte or wherever you may be from, travel a little bit, nigga. Tampa's a very beautiful place. But revenge is a dish served cold, but around this time of year, Tampa's pretty warm. Monday Night Football game. I think we, long as everybody stay healthy. Now, all this is based off or contingent upon niggas staying healthy. I don't see us sweeping the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just don't. I don't see us doing that. Primetime game, I think you get the best out of Baker. Baker usually shows up. This could be one of them situations to where this could be a high-scoring affair. You know what I mean? This could be a blowout. Because we're division rivals, it's hard for me to see it being a blowout. But even if it's not a blowout, I still think this is a high-scoring affair game. I think Baker makes amends from the week 7 loss against us in Charlotte. And I think this is a game where you could see potentially Emeka Egbuka be the star that I think he will develop to be or is, depending on how you see it. So for the first time, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm out of the loop here. For the first time in a long time, you're going to see a team get swept on all of its primetime games. So going into week 13, the Panthers are 3-8. Let me recap that schedule for you. Week 1, loss to Chicago. Week 2, win against Atlanta. Week 3, loss to Cleveland. Week 4, primetime Sunday night, loss. Week 6, after the bye week, loss to Philadelphia. Week 7, at home against the Bucs, win. Week 8 against the Packers, Thursday Night Football, loss. Week 9 against the Broncos, loss. Week 10 against the Saints, on the road, win. Week 11 at home against the Ravens, loss. And Week 12, Monday Night Football against the Buccaneers, loss. Yep. So that's 3-8 right there, nigga, going into week 13. Anybody ready to call me Big Fat? Y'all ready to call me Big Fat? Yeah, you're Big Fat. Okay, stay right there. So week 13, we got the Minnesota Vikings in a shocking turn here, man. Have the Vikings gave up on my man McCarthy? Have the Vikings gave up on J.J. McCarthy here, man? They opted to move on and take on Kyler Murray here. So you got Kyler Murray, Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Juan Jennings, which is a great pickup from the 49ers. Juan Jennings is definitely a nice rotational piece. T.J. Hawkinson. If you look on the defensive side of the ball, let's see. Dallas Turner, Isaiah Rodgers, at cornerback. Byron Murphy Jr., he's still in the league? He's at the other cornerback here. And a bunch of nobodies, man, on this defensive side of the ball. Jalen Redmond, who had over 6 sacks last year, put some respect on his name, had 10 as a defensive tackle spot, 6 sacks there. And you do have Blake Cashman as well at the inside linebacker spot. When you look at the Minnesota Vikings team, you look at a team who has all of the world of potential. They're kind of like the Cleveland Browns, if you ask me. The Cleveland Browns have such a good damn defense. All they need is to figure, and they got weapons on offense. They just need to figure out the fucking quarterback spot, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They need to figure out the quarterback spot. But I guess Kyler Murray is a stopgap quarterback for them. Yeah, man. I mean, Minnesota Vikings are cool, but we seen Kyler Murray before, man. We've seen Kyler Murray before. I'm not scared of Kyler Murray. And Justin Jefferson can be contained, man. We seen games last year where Justin Jefferson went missing. And, against the cornerbacks that we got, I like our cornerback room. You know what I mean? I like our starting cornerbacks. You know what I mean? I think J.C. Horn is good enough to deal with, Justin Jefferson. And Jordan Addison ain't he's not too bad, but he ain't nothing to be scared of. I can see Juan Jennings getting loose a couple times, but ultimately, Kyler Murray's the quarterback. And this is one of the games where I think our defense will show up. We're probably going to have a field day on this little motherfucker. You know what I mean? I definitely could see motherfucking Jalen Phillips having 2 or 3 sacks and Nick Gordon having another 2 and maybe even Devin Lloyd having a pick or so. It's going to be a good game for our defense against the Minnesota Vikings. I'm not scared of the Minnesota Vikings in any form or fashion. You know what I mean? And I know this game is on the road in Minnesota, but, shit, it is what it is. I think we win this game. So we're 4-8 right here. 4-8. And the one thing I think you guys need to appreciate here, we don't have too many cold games outside. Only cold game we got outside is Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? On the road, excuse me. We got Pittsburgh on the road. That's going to be cold as shit in December. And we got the Ravens that come down to Carolina. And Carolina could be, low 60s? Shout out to Chad. Chad posted something in the Discord earlier. By the time we face the Ravens, it's probably going to be like low 60s or maybe even high 50s, which isn't terribly bad, right? So thank God for the schedule guy for not having us play Cleveland or Philadelphia on the road late in the season. So shout out to that. So we only really got one cold game, on the road, which is Pittsburgh. All right, Panthers are 4-8. December 13th, the Saints come into town. We face these guys again. Again, like I said, very versatile offense. I think we can sweep the Saints this year, dog. Kind of what we did with the Falcons last year. I like what the Saints are doing offensively. You know what I mean? They're starting to rebuild. I think they waited just a little bit too late. Man, to get started. Is Tyler Schultz their quarterback of this future? Fuck, I don't know. Does the kid have potential? I definitely seen him have potential. You know what I mean? Definitely see him have potential. And I think he's going to, he's going to have some plays here and there. This nigga ain't the next Peyton Manning or no shit like that. If anybody I'm scared of, probably that backfield duo. And maybe Olave, man, you know what I mean? And, hopefully Jordan Tyson doesn't dig in us too bad. But this defense is mid as shit. And they're rebuilding, man. They got a long way to go. This team may win some games this year, but I don't think they're going too far either way. And with that being said, I think we go ahead and we sweep the Saints this year. How about that? Keep you guys from crying in the chat. Put that 5-8, man. 5-8 going into week 15. Right? What's up, DDP, man? What's going on? Yeah, got us sweeping the Saints this year, 5-8. Going into week 15, man. It was the week before Christmas. And there was Carson Palmer. Not Carson Palmer, but what's Joe Burrow. If I say Carson Palmer, man, my dad is a Bengals fan, right? My dad's a Bengals fan, so I've been watching Bengal game for a long time, man. And they're coming into town. This is the game I probably go to. It's one of them games where, your father gets older, he want to spend some time with you. I probably go to this game. Yeah. So we get to welcome in Joe Burrow, 5-8. Okay. If he's healthy, and this is one of those things that could be a blessing in disguise because, over the last couple of years, Burrow has not been healthy. But if for somehow or some reason he is healthy, Carolina, you have a problem. They have a pretty damn good running back by the name of Chase Brown. Doesn't get enough credit from me, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Because he had all those weapons on the outside. Chase Brown rushed for over 1,000 last year, 6 touchdowns. Former Illinois running back, man. Chase Brown's pretty damn good running back, man. Versatile weapon. Just because he's in that system, he's not going to get a lot of credit. You know what I mean? At least not from the public eye. Scouting reports, they probably sure they got the eye on him. Chase Brown's a monster. Speaking of Chase, you got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins there. Outside of that wide receiver room with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, I mean, I never seen a wide receiver room that literally only needs 2 receivers to dog walk your ass. Sure, they got Andrea Embelozas. You know what I mean? They got fucking. That's about it. You know what I mean? That white boy can play too, but this is a weird team. I mean, they literally have just 2 receivers that can dog walk you for 16 games if Joe Burrow stay healthy. And this really gets me scared. This really gets me reserved, man. Joe Burrow is the nigga, bro. Joe Burrow is that nigga, dog. I'm just sorry, man. Joe Burrow is that nigga, man. Joe Burrow can really. He's not scared of. He's not scared of J.C. Horn. He damn sure not scared of Mike Jackson, and nor do I think T. Higgins or Jamar Chase is scared of either one of our cornerbacks. I watched both these gentlemen put on a clinic. Former Clemson wide receiver listen, T. Higgins is just as good as Jamar Chase in his own way. In his own way. So this could be a game where niggas get motherfucker fit. You know what I mean? Okay. So stay right there. Let me take a peek at something. You got Mike Gesicki. They did pick up, they got Orlando Brown Jr. I see they try to put a little help out there. Amarius Mims, former Georgia Bulldog, as the other tackle. Defensive side of the ball, they did lose Hendrickson. They did trade for Dexter Lawrence, right? Dexter Lawrence, who the year before, I believe, had a pretty good season here. They also have Jonathan Allen, former Washington Commander, right? You got Jonathan Allen, Dexter Lawrence. Nice little D-line there. You got Myles Murphy as well, 5.5 sacks from last year. They got a bunch of Clemson boys on that defensive line. When you look at this cornerback room, DJ Turner, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. And you also got Dax Hill, okay? I'm going to tell you, man, this game really could be who controls that line of scrimmage. Because we know Joe Burrow was used to getting pressured, right? Joe Burrow's used to getting pressured and getting hit. You can get to Joe Burrow. But the problem is, man, even when you get to Joe Burrow, man, he's still going to get his. Joe Burrow is a nigga that can get sacked 4 or 5 times and still throw for fucking 400 or 500 yards a game, man. That's the scary thing about Joe Burrow in this Panthers defense. There's no doubt in my mind I feel like we're going to get to him. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, this Bengal offensive line, they tried their best to try to patch up that offensive line, and I still think our defensive line needs a work in progress too, but could be a high-scoring affair down here in Charlotte, man. Could be a high-scoring affair. Ultimately, it's going to be the one who makes the last stop here. Will it be the Panthers to make the last stop? Will it be the Bengals to make the last stop? The last time we played the Bengals, man, it was a high-scoring game. And I still think it's going to be the same exact way. It just so happened that, the Bengals made the last stop here. With that being said, I don't see it changing either way. Good game here, and I think it's going to be a coin flip of a game. Very good game here, man. High-scoring game here. Both quarterbacks going to get their shit rock clean. You know what I mean? Both quarterbacks going to struggle in this game. But if you ask me who I trust more when it comes down to quarterback play, it's not even a question. Joe Burrow comes away with a tight, high-scoring win late in the season down in Charlotte, man. So I'll give this one to the Bengals, okay? That drops our record down to 5-9, okay? Drops our record down to 5-9. Then we face the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Week 16, all right? We got 3 more games left. Week 16, close out the year, all right? So this is the final game of the year. We're going to take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Then we go into the new year, and we face the Seattle Seahawks here. Let's take a look at the Steelers lineup here. Now, I don't know what the hell's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Don't give me the line here. I heard niggas was in town or whatever, you know what I mean? Said that he came visit, you know what I mean? He's playing games. I'm so sick of Aaron Rodgers. He's just like a fucking diva. To me, Aaron Rodgers wants to play football without the training camp, without the mini camps, shit like that. He's such a spoiled little diva. So on the roster currently, they got Mason Rudolph and Will Howard and Drew Allar. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm going to say this is as if Aaron Rodgers was still on the roster, okay? They got DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr. Oh, and they got Rico Dotto along with Jalen Warren. Now, if you ain't watched the Pittsburgh Steelers play, the Pittsburgh Steelers kind of run their offense like they kind of run it like when it comes to the running back usage, they kind of run it like Tampa a little bit, man. They usually split carries with their running backs. You remember Kenneth Gainwell was a very good compliment to Jalen Warner last year. Very good compliment. If you ask me, Rico Dotto is a upgrade when it comes to a compliment back. Hell, he's a starter capability. Should be a starter in this league. So there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to get a heavy dose of run game. And it's late December. This is after Christmas in Pittsburgh. So not only are you facing that run game with Jaylen Warren, who's a receiving back as well, you got Rico Dowdle, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have a few things to say. Won't be surprised if eventually at some point in the season, he finds his way in the starting lineup, whether it be from matchup, preferences, or maybe, injuries. I don't know. I think at some point you're going to see him have a good couple games like he did for us. You got DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman Jr., Roman Wilson, former Michigan product here, Pat Freymouth, you know what I mean? And you look on this defensive side of the ball, you got Derek Harmon at the edge rusher, had 3 sacks last year. You got Patrick Queen, you got Malik Harris, you got good old TJ Watt. Had a bit of a down year, injuries and shit, you know what I mean? 7 sacks, 3 forced fumble, 2 interception. That's some people's best stat line, but that's his worst stat line with the injuries. You got Joey Porter, young up-and-coming cornerback, former or the junior Big Porter, Joey Porter, Alex Highsmith as well, 9.5 sacks. Jaquan Brisker, nice little pickup there, if I'm not mistaken, for the Chicago Bears at the safety position. You got Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's going to be protected with that nice little pressure front. If you put Jalen Ramsey in a defensive system where that provides pressure, even though Jalen Ramsey is old, you know what I mean? He's not what he once was. You're going to see him make some plays. And he picked up Jamel Dean as well. So nice little secondary here. Nice little secondary here. And don't forget about Deshaun Elliott as well. Nice little secondary. Joey Porter, Deshaun Elliott, Jaquan Brisker, Jamel Dean, and Jalen Ramsey. Nice secondary. And then in front of that secondary, you got Cam Hayward, Derek Harmon, TJ Watt, Malik Harrison, Patrick Queen. Nice. Okay. Any questions here? Hey, look, man, late in this season, I'm really concerned about the Carolina Panthers offensive line at this point. Every year we probably got the most combination of offensive linemen, and I still think that's going to be the same problem this year. I think Rico Dowdle's going to have a good game on us. Very good game. I think Rico Dowdle's going to have a good game, and not to mention, Aaron Rodgers, whether he's back or not, it's going to be a real simplistic on how they run that offense. Very simplistic. They're not going to try to take deep shots and shit because, A, it's cold, right? A, it's cold. And B, why do I need to take deep shots when you can't stop the run? The Panthers can't stop the run. You're going to find out how much of this upgrade there really is, okay? The Panthers spend a lot of money in edge rushers and only bought one nigga from Texas Tech on the D-line. Think about that. Panthers spent all this money getting Jalen Phillips or whatever, Jalen Phillips and all the linebackers and shit, but they didn't do shit to that defensive line outside of the Texas Tech product. And you know when you're going to need that defensive line? When it's freezing cold. So because of that, man, I say Pittsburgh's going to shut it down, man. And we lose, dropping us to 5-10. All right, sorry about that. Goddamn dog barking. 5-10. Carolina Panthers late in the season. It's almost over, y'all. We got 2 more games left. We got the defending champion Seattle Seahawks, and we got the Atlanta Falcons. And both of these games are at home, man. Seattle Seahawks, defending champion Sam Darnold. A lot of you guys laughed when I said Team Sam Darnold, and if you guys don't know, I still have his Panthers jersey in my closet. Sam Darnold's looking like a Hall of Famer now. Okay, Sam Darnold's looking like a Hall of Famer, man. But here's a little bit of a difference here. Kenneth Walker's gone. Kenneth Walker is gone to the Kansas City Chiefs. Zach Charbonnet and Jaden Price will lead that running back room. Jackson Enigba, Cooper Kupp, and Rashid Shaheed. You got A.J. Bonner and Elijah Arroyo, former University of Miami tight end. Defensive side of the ball, you got Byron Murphy still up there, big boy up front, 7 sacks last year. Jaron Reed, 2.5 sacks last year. You got Leonard Williams on the edge, 7 sacks last year. DeMarcus Lawrence, surprised he's still in the league, 6 sacks last year, 3 forced fumbles. You got the outside linebacker, Unishe Nwusa, 7 sacks last year. Damn. Free safety, Julian Love, still on the team. Josh Jobe is on the team, cornerback. Devon Weatherspoon, still on the team, 7 pass breakup, 1 interception. This offense may take a backseat a little bit here. I think Kenneth Walker being able to establish a run really helped them get in position down the stretch. You know, in fact, he was the Super Bowl champion, right? He was Super Bowl MVP last year. So with Zach Charbonnet leading the team, you know, if he stays healthy here, you know what I mean, can he do it? Well, when you got outside threats like Jackson and Jigba, I don't know how much of a threat Cooper Kupp will be again this year. He only had 500 yards last year. Don't really expect much out of him. To me, is how long can this team run on a one wide receiver option, right? Obviously, everybody know when you face the Seahawks, it's Njigba. But who's going to be that number 2 that's going to step up? Will it be Rashid Shaheed? Last year he flashed. He had over 687 yards, but he had some of that with the Saints before the trade, right? So Rashid go into that number 2 receiver. Outside of Jackson and Njigba, nobody on this wide receivers crew scares me. This running back room without Kenneth Walker doesn't scare me. And Sam Darnold, as good as he is, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't want to take anything away from him, man. You know what I mean? Because, hell, last year he threw for 25 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. We would have loved to have some of that. But ultimately, I don't think it's what the offense is going to – the offense is going to be the problem for us when we face Seattle at the top of the year. I think it's this defense. I just read off to you this defensive front. Jaron Reed, Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, 7 sacks, 6 sacks. I mean, come on now. DeMarcus Lawrence, 6 sacks. Ernest Jones, you know what I mean? Half a sack. You got Nwusu at the outside edge rusher. He had motherfucking 7 sacks. I think this defense, the reason why the Seattle Seahawks are such a threat is because of the defense. You know what I mean? Sam Darnold benefits, or he's, you know, you could say he gets carried a little bit. He gets carried a little bit because of this defense. And I still think you're going to see that this year, right? I don't know if the Seahawks are going to be as explosive and as dominant as they were the year before, but you best believe they're going to be in the hunt, and they're going to be in the hunt because of that defense. And because of that, that's going to send the Panthers to 5-11. Last game of the year, y'all. Last game of the year, we take on the Atlanta Falcons, and yeah, it's at home. I think we win, man. I mean, Falcons aren't good, man. Falcons aren't good. Usually around this time, they packing the bags up. They're headed to Costa Rica, wherever the fuck they're going. So I think we're going to finish 6-11. And I think you may see the end of Bryce, man. You know what I mean? It could be one of them situations here. It depends on the context in which we lose these 11 games. But, I mean, losing 11 games with your quarterback at the starter, it doesn't look good on anybody. So just a recap here. I got us losing to the Bears week 1. I got us beating the Falcons week 2. I got us losing to the Browns week 3. I got us Sunday Night Football losing to the Lions. We got the bye week. Then week 6, I got us losing to the Eagles. Week 7, I got us beating the Buccaneers. Week 8, I got us losing on Thursday Night Football to the Packers. Week 9, I got us losing to the Broncos. Week 10, I got us beating the Saints. Week 11, I got us losing to the Ravens. Week 12, I got us losing to the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. Week 13, I got us beating the Minnesota Vikings. Week 14, I got us beating the Saints. Week 15, I got us losing to the Bengals. Week 16, I got us losing to the Steelers. And week 17, I got us losing to the Seahawks. And then week 18, I got us beating the Falcons. So if you're counting up right, it's 6-11 here, man. So I'll just say this, man. I mean, I think the Panthers, we got to get a quarterback. Ultimately, we got to get a quarterback. But I think what you're really going to see about this team that struggles this year is this defensive line play, right? You know what I mean? I do believe in the Lee Hunter pick. I like that pick a lot, but it's not enough. It's just not enough. It's just not enough here. Bryce Young is going to have his own struggles, you know, as it is, right? I don't want to keep here and keep beating Bryce Young into the ground, man, but it is what it is. I think Bryce is going to have his, you know, high moments, but, you know, the fact that this schedule is so front-loaded, man, that's what really scares me. I mean, if we face like the Eagles, the Ravens, if we face the Eagles, the Lions, the Broncos, if we face them later in the year, then probably I'll say, okay, maybe we can make some noise because you got injuries. You got all kind of stuff that can happen later in the year, right? But when you face these guys, you got, what's this? You got week 4, you taking on the fucking Lions. Week 6, you're taking on the Eagles. Week 9, you're taking on the Broncos. You're taking on these motherfuckers the front part of the year, man. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you got to win those games. And these are playoff contending teams. But ultimately, you're going to see the run game pop his head up again, make that issue. Us stopping the run. Chuba Hubbard, how much can he really carry this team? Chuba Hubbard can't do what Rico Dotto does or did, right? If Chuba Hubbard could have run for 200 yards a game last year, they would have never signed Rico Dotto. You know that, right? If he could have done that, they would have never signed him. So I don't know how much Chuba can carry us. I don't know how much T-Mac can hold us down, right? T-Mac is the number 1 receiver, and I believe highly in T-Mac, man. But is his shoulders big enough for him to hold us down, dog? You know what I mean? I don't know if he can hold us down on his own, dog. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to have to help him out. I love Jalen Coker, bro. I love Jalen Coker, man. But motherfucker won't stay healthy, dogs. He won't stay healthy, dogs. You know what I mean? So, shit, man, I guess we'll see, dog. You know what I mean? I don't know. Will somebody help out T-Mac? Will Chuba produce, you know, like Rico Dotto produced? Will Bryce Young finally, you know, not have to rely on help? If you think this year is going to be a replay of last year where a nigga going to help you get into the tournament, no, it's not going to be that, dog. Hell no, it ain't going to be that. Don't you think that, dog? If you think, oh, we're going to go sneak in, ain't no sneaking in this year. You're going to have to win on your own or you're going to get your ass embarrassed. And I think we're going to get embarrassed, man. I think we're going to get swept on all the primetime games. There's a reason why the NFL for so long kept our ass off of primetime. Niggas drinking the Kool-Aid thinking that the Panthers are back. Hell no, we ain't back, dog. And you're going to find out. You seen when we played the 49ers last year. Got our ass clean picked off. You know what I mean? But, yeah, man, I don't want to, you know, be a Debbie Downer here. It is what it is. Say la vie. You know what I mean? But, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Get in the comment section. You guys let me know. I got us at 6-11 here, man. You let me know what you think about that. And as always, man, continue to support. You know, I pop in, pop out like I always do. All up, no hate. You know what I mean? This is 95 The Roar. I'm the big cat. You know what I mean? When you need to hear from me, you hear from me. You know, shout out to all the supporters out there. And hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully this can be a good season and we can celebrate together, all right? As always, man, keep pounding. Paws up. You know what I mean? Got love for you guys, man. Y'all be good. I'll catch you next time.